Okay, that's not the shot we're looking for. Wanted to hit a really nice draw down the middle out the screws, but just couldn't manage it. That is something I helped one of my students with this week. He was really struggling getting the distance and the shape that he wanted. Now, just like that last shot I hit, he was hitting it out the middle of the club face, but really short on distance, low on height, and obviously just not optimizing what he can do well. He can hit the ball a very good distance, but if you're not optimizing everything, the ball is not going to go where you want it. So in this video today, I'm going to give you 2 or 3, what should we do? 2. I'm going to give you 2 unbelievable tips to help you hit a draw with your driver. First of all, we're going to approach the setup because it is vital. But we talk a lot about spine tilt during the setup and at impact, okay? But if we don't get it right at setup, we've got less chance of getting it right at impact. Now, for those that may have noticed, as I set up, my shoulders on that shot were pointing a long way left of target. So for a right-handed golfer, that's not where I want to be putting my shoulders if I'm trying to hit a draw. All right, so if my shoulders are this far open, then what tends to happen is my spine angle will be towards the target or relatively square to the ground. What it will probably not be is tilted back away from the target, which is kind of what we want. We want to be hitting up on the golf ball. All right, so one really good fix, and I think is a great fix, that I gave one of my students this week was actually make sure you can see this shoulder in your peripheral vision as you're set up, and build a new routine whilst doing the driver. Don't just kind of set to the same old movements that you were doing. If you're used to setting up with both hands on the club and putting it into the ball, then you're probably going to be used to opening up that shoulder. So what I want you to try and do, I want you to get a bit more dominant in this lead arm. Put the club in behind the ball. Make sure as you're looking down at the ball, you can see this lead shoulder out of your peripheral vision, okay? Now, I've got the lead shoulder higher than the trail shoulder. And what I'm gonna do with my right arm is just grip it onto the club very lightly. Now, what happens here, because the ball position's further forward in my stance, my spine angle now is tilted away. I can see my left shoulder in my peripheral vision. My right shoulder's lower. My shoulders are pointing to the sky, and I've got that little bit of spine tilt. As a result of moving my upper body into that position, I get a tiny bit more pressure down my right side, okay? Now I feel like I'm in a position to be able to hit up on the ball, but not only that, I'm actually in a position to be able to rotate. Because if you imagine, we want a 90-degree shoulder rotation, okay? So if my shoulders are pointing left of the target and my 90 degrees start from here, I'm not going to get enough depth in my backswing to create what I would perceive as being that draw shape. I want to try and make sure when I set up, I can see this shoulder on the peripheral vision, and then from here, I'm able to then use that 90-degree shoulder rotation to get the depth with the club more behind me, so I'm able to deliver the golf club into the ball from an in to out swing path. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just set up. As I do so, build a new routine. You're trying to build something different within your golf swing. Build it from the get-go, from the moment you hold that golf club in your hand. So I'm going to set up, club in behind the ball. I can see in my peripheral vision of my shoulder. Ball positions inside my lead heel. I don't want it too far forward. We're going to come to that in a second. Inside my lead heel, my right hand's just going to take the grip, so my shoulders are back a little bit more. Obviously now I'm going to try and force a draw for the purpose of this video. Oh, I can't believe I nailed it. Yes. I mean, of course I nailed it. It's the whole point of the video. That, my friends, is an absolute delight. I can't even explain the relief sometimes when these shots come off. So I did touch a little bit then on my ball position. Golfers that have it too far forward are more likely to have a swing direction and a club path that goes left, because once we get past the middle of the stance, the swing's arc starts working left. So the further forward left it is, the more left the ball position, the club path is going. So I always try and make sure, particularly trying to hit a draw, the ball is definitely inside of that heel. This is what makes the setup really important with this lead shoulder and the trail shoulder being lower. So then as I swing up into the golf ball, I'm low point and I'm hitting up on the ball. If you're getting into your numbers, I'm just digressing a little bit. If you're getting into your numbers, when you're hitting driver, look at your swing direction, not your club path. Okay, path will always be left, but you can still hit draws because your swing direction will have been right, just because of where the shot is on the arc. Tip 2, to help you hit that draw, needs to be complemented really by tip 1, making sure you get the setup correct, okay? We've spoken about the peripheral vision, making sure we can see that lead shoulder, making sure as a result of the lead shoulder and the ball position that the spine angle is better and the shoulder alignment's better, so we're encouraging you to hit up on the ball. But as I mentioned very briefly, these changes allow you to be able to rotate. Like I said, if you open up your shoulders left of target and turn 90 degrees from there, you're still not really creating much depth in your golf swing. If we square up and then from here, we create that 90-degree turn, we create a lot more depth at the top of the backswing, which gives us more ability, more chance of hitting the ball from the inside. Rotation to hit a draw is key. You need rotation. You can't get away with narrow rotation and lots of arm movements, okay? So we do need the depth in the takeaway in particular. So this is why when I want to build this grip, I want to make sure this left shoulder's there with my peripheral vision. I want to make sure that my hips, my knees and my toes are all in sync with each other, all parallel, maybe even slightly close to target. If you're going to hit a draw, why not give yourself a chance of making sure that you're aiming to the right a little bit, to encourage the swing path to be to the right to hit the draw. That will also make a big difference. But what we're going to try and do from here is make sure that as we start that transition, we can bring the club from what feels like behind the body. Now I saw an amazing tip from Justin Rose, really simple, I've heard it before, but this might really resonate with a lot of you. Hit the golf ball with your back to target. I thought it was a brilliant visualization because you swing to the top of the backswing here. If you start your transition with your back to the target, this golf club has started to work down and more inside for you to rotate to the ball. Many golfers swing to the top and they turn from the transition, which the rotation brings you this way. Remember, the golf swing, the shoulders are working around the spine, which is 45 or so degrees tilted. So that should be my spine angle, okay? That should be my shoulder angle around my spine. So now if I make my transition with my back to target, the club stays more on the inside. If I swing up to the top of the backswing here, keep that angle, but then turn in my transition, the right shoulder gets high, the spine angle gets forward of the golf ball and we hit that low slicey one, okay? Like I say, you can still hit the middle of the club face, right, but you're not efficient, you're not optimizing. So at the top of the backswing, feel like you're hitting the transition, but from with your back to target. Like I said, setup's gonna help. So peripheral vision, ball position, right hand on, right shoulder's lower, spine tilts there, and then hit the transition with your back to target. Wow. I hope these tips help you as well as they help me. They just help me jog my memory every single time. Guys, I hope this video has helped. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. If you're new to the channel, please do share it with your friends to make you all better at golf, make you all more competitive on a Saturday morning. Thanks for watching. See you next time.